This is Gemara Sanhedrin, the Daf Pei Vav, the Daf for Tainis Esther. All the learning on this incredible day of Tefillah, the day of Keli Lama Zavtani, the Tefillah is of Esther Amalka, should be as credible Schos Rafua Shlema for Tinaik ben Miriam Ahuva, B'siyata Deshmaya the Koyach HaTorah. On this incredible day, should bring incredible Yeshuais and Rafuais for Tinaik ben Miriam Ahuva b'Soy Sha'ar Chayle Yisrael. We're holding in the Mishnah on the bottom of Pehei Amid Beis, continuing to discuss cases that we saw in the previous Mishnah. Hagoynef nefesh mi Yisrael. Someone kidnaps a yid. Einoi chayav ashichnesenu l'rishos. He's not obligated. And what it means by chayiv means chayiv chenek, as we saw, until he brings the person into his rishos. Rav Yehuda Omer Ashech Lisenu L'Rishusai, and v'yishtamish bai, you have to bring him into your rishos and use him. Shenemar, says the pasuk, v'yisamer bai umecharoi. Says the Mishnah, there are two types of kidnapping. Hagoynev as benoi, Rav Yishmael benoi, Rav Yochanan breikem v'chayiv, v'chachamim poitrim. Ganev v'misha chetz yav v'chetz ben chayrim. Excuse me, Rav Yehuda v'chayiv, v'chachamim poitrim. So two machlokes in one, if one kidnaps his own son, the other if one kidnaps a chetzi yeved, v'chetzi ben chayrim. Says the Gemara v'Tanakama, loy boi imor. According to Tanakama, it sounded like you did not actually have to use this person you kidnapped, and that was the chiddush that was introduced by Vishtamish by Rav Yehuda. So what does the Tanakama hold? The pasuk says Visamer boy, Amar Vacha Brei the Rava, Imor Pachais Mishave Pruta. The work that the pasuk discusses is when it's less than a Shava Pruta, and that's where Rav Yehuda is going to say that no, that's not called work. That's the Tanakama, but Rav Yehuda says no, it has to be real work. So boy, it could be now. That's the chok to Tanakama and Rav Yehuda. So boy, Rav Yirmiyah, Ganvai umachrai Yoshi. So kidnapped and sold someone who's asleep. What's the halacha? Machar isha lo'obra. Mao. Someone sells the pregnant woman for her baby. What is the halacha? Says the Gemara. Yesh derech ima v'kach, ein derech ima v'kach. The shaylas haGemara is this considered a way to utilize usage of the person or not? Says the Gemara, the first word on the line, 10 lines from the bottom. Why do we not say that the kidnapper is pater because there's no usage at all in such a case? The one that was being kidnapped, the victim was asleep, and the kidnapper leaned upon him, or Isha Dukmi Bab Ezika, or the woman at hand that we're discussing, the kidnapper stood in front of her and utilized her to block the wind, meaning that there's some level of usage that is done with the body. And the Shiloh, the Gemara now explain what's at the crux of our Shiloh is Derech Imer Bekach, Oy Ein Derech Imer Bekach. Is this considered a normal manner of usage or not? Says the Gemara, Mai Teku, we don't have a teretz to this answer. Taner Rabbanan continues the Gemara, Ki Matzah Yesh Koine Nefesh Mi'achiv, says the pasuk, someone is found kidnapping a person. Ein li ela isha ganaf. Isha minayin, I don't know if a woman kidnaps Tam Aloymar. Excuse me, V'goynev ish. Ein li ela ish sheganav. Bein ish, bein isha, bein ish. V'isha sheganva ish. Isha sheganva isha, the last of permutations minayin. Tam Aloymar umeis hagoynev ahu. And from there we learn out Mikol Makim. That's the first brace. Tani Idach, another brace. Ki Matei Ish Koinim Nefesh Mi'achiv. Echad HaGoynim V'Saish, Echad HaGoynim V'Saisha. V'Echad Ger. V'echad Evan Mishachrar, V'katan Chayiv. In all these cases, there will be a Chayiv. Says the Gemara, Gan Vayv'lai Machrai, excuse me, Gan Vayv'lai Machrai, Mecharev Edayin Yashlev Yeshusai, or he sells him, but he's still sleeping in his Rishas. In both these cases, he's going to be Potter. Machra la'aviv la'achev la'echem and akrivim chayiv. Continues the brisa. Agoimina says avadim. Someone steals an eved. Potter, he is Potter. As we turn over to Pevavam and Aleph, says the Gemara, Tana Kamei, dear Rav Sheshes. We have a brisa that was learned in front of Rav Sheshes. Amar Le, Rav Sheshes responds, Ani Shaina, I learned Rabbi Shimon Omer me'echav ad sheyitzenu mershos echav until he takes him out of rishos of his brothers. V'ata amar chayiv, says Gemara, you're right. Tani Potter, right? Learn Potter. Says the Gemara, my koshya. What is Rav Shesh's kasha? Dom Harav Shimon Harabanan explains the Gemara lo sagedei. Dam Rav Yechanan stam masnisa and Rameir. Stam Teisefter Ram Nechemia, Stam Sifra Rav Yehuda, Stam Sifri Rav Shimon, Vekula Alibud Rav Akiva. So explains the Gemara, all different shitas. 10 lines down, Peivavam and Aleph, we go to the next part of the Mishnah, which was the Machlekes, whether Machlekes Yishov and Yechim and Broika versus Chachamim. What is the status of Agoyne B'nai? Says the Gemara, my time of the Rabban. Why did the Rabbanan say he's Potter? Rabbi Damar Kra says the pasuk, Ki matzei prat limatzu, you have to find, which exempts someone who's accessible, the kidnapper's own son. Amli Rabbi Abaye el meyata, 1 second. Ki matzei yeshaychavim isha pulas baal. Hachinami ki matzei prat limatzu. Ki gain shall be explaining the shchichan gabayo means a friend who is shchiach, it is kamli bayim. Hachinami, so to here in the same case, tipatiri, he'd be potter if he's mezana with these women. Are you going to say, of course not? So we see that even though it says ishahu, it does not mean as we just thought. So Amar Lei, so responds Abaye, Ana, maybe nimsa biyada kamina. I learned it out from V'nitzva, V'umi, V'nimsa biyadai. The actual words teach us that if someone is going to v'nai, he is potter from the chiyuv of kidnapping, which is chanik. Amar Rav Hilka Chani Mikrai Dardaki Umasnu Rabban. These psukim that they teach the children, they teach Talmud to Rabbanan. Kimitsuyan biyadai dami upater. Talmidim are considered ready in front of the Talmidim upater, and the Rabbeim are pater and exempt, even in case of kidnapping, from Misa in such a scenario. Continues the Gemara, quoting the last part of the Mishnah, Gana Mishachatzi Avid L'Chatzi Ben Chayim. Tanan also we learned in the Mishnah. Rav Yehuda Imer Ein Lavadim Ba'ishes. Says Rav Yehuda, an Avid does not get Ba'ishes, does not get the payment for the disgrace. Chacham argues. My time to Rav Yehuda, Markra, Kinati Shem Nachdav Ish Ve'achiv, Mishi Yesh Layachuya, it's Avid, Shein Lachuya, Avid is excluded. Rabbanan, Echavu b'mitzvahs, Vach Echi Darsh Rav Yehuda, Adat Rav Yehuda, Darsh Leis Savar, Me Echav Lafuki Avadim B'nei Yisrael, Lamuti Mishchatzi Avachatzi Ben Chayr Mi B'nei Yisrael. Me B'nei Yisrael, Lamuti Mishchatzi Avachatzi Ben Chayrin. Having Miyad Achar Miyad, says Rav Yehuda, Ve'ein Miyad Achar Miyad, El the rabbis. Rabban Me'echav Lafuki Avoide, Lafuki Avadim Loi. I lost my cursor. Lafuki Avadim Loi. Lafuke avodim. Lafuke avodim. Loi, says the Gemara, Loi mashal hu da'achav hu b'mitzvahs b'nei Yisrael. Maybe b'nei Yisrael chalamutei ava chalamutei mishchazav chaz ben chayrin. As hara, so explains the Gemara, you're right, you know what the actual pasuk is, like goynev nefesh. So finally says the Gemara, minayin, where do we know, where do we know these halachas from? Again, let's just go up one dot. Azhara legoynev nefesh. Azhara. I apologize. We keep losing the place. So Azhara legoynev nefesh minayin. Rav Yeshi Amar. Miloi signoi. First two words on the line. Rav Yechlan Amar. Miloi yimachru micha 7. Says the Gemara of Leipli. Marka chashav l'digneva. Marka chashav lav. Dimachira. Each turn out their own limud. Says the Gemara, the pasuk talks about Geneva, and we're explaining it's talking about kidnapping. So turn around on the lay signo. If pasuk in Sarah said Debra, he's beginning to vash against Medaber, it's about kidnapping. I told him beginning to vashish. Ayinu Allah, beginning Mammon. Amrit, Seyulamad. Mishal Jasim Midashat, Tyrani Jasman, which is what? One of the 13 in Davar Alami Minyani. So you learn from the Indian. That's what we learn outside about Stam Geneva, it's talking about kidnapping. Tani Idach. Loising Noivu. Beginning Maman because of Medaber. Beginning Maman Ella, beginning Fashais. Amrit Seulaman. Mishal Shazimido Shatter Nijazvan. One of them is Nachamal. Davar Laminyan Bimar because of Medaber Mama and I've come in Mama. So we have conflicting ways of learning at the pasuk whether it's going to be referring to mamain or not. Says the Gemara, okay, Itmar. A lanes on the bottom. So we have a case of Azama, and of course, the case of Azama is when Edim are found that they could not have testified because they were not there. So in a case of Edim on Geneva and Edim on Mechira, and they're both found to be Edi Hazam. So Chizki Amar Negaragin, you can't kill them. Rabbi Yechon Amar Negaragin. Chizki Amar Kravi Kiva Damar Davar Veloy Chatzi Davar. You have a full-fledged Edis to kill a person. You do not. Rabbi Yechon Amar Kravi Anan Damar Davar Afilu Chatzi Davar. Moida Chizki Up. Beidim Achroin Shaban Sarah Meirer. Shahoz Mishan Negaragin. Why? Tersheyecha Lemer Lai. Because they could have removed themselves from the story, and they could have said, all we're coming is to Gemal, because we're not coming to Mechayiv anything more. Kule Davar Lo Avdi, that wasn't what they were trying to do. Says the Gemara Maskler Papa. So 1 second, you're now telling me the case of an Eved and the case of Ben Sarah Meirer are two different cases. So in Taba Bevam and Beis, Maskiv Lara Papa. If what you're saying is accurate, Eidim Mechira Nami Likatzli, the Eidim that said he was sold shall be killed. Because they could have said, we came to give Malchus, and therefore they themselves should be Chaim Isa. Maybe you're going to tell me they go Savar 5 lines down. It's not true. Eidim on Eidim ben Nefesh, Eidim on the kidnapping, Sheh Hozmu. Chizki Aviyach Lechanem Arloiki Lechanem Ein like Vaminon Tisayim. Chizkiah Amalek. And where do you know that Chizkiah is the opinion says you got Malchus? But Amar Chizkiah ain't Naharogin. Dear Rav Yechon, give them Naharogin. Her lav shouldn't Lazarus pieces bezin. Because Rav Yechon, you get Misa. So it's a lav. Besides stam lav, it's a lav that Bezin takes better into their own hands. The klal is 12 lines down. The first one is lav. Cholav sheni lazar is Bezin ein like in a lav. So iu lalaki inu heichilaki. If he himself is not administering, then how could they? Says the Gemara, Elamar Papa be'edei mechira. Talking about the Edom that saw him sold. The Kuli Alma loy plead in a haragin. Keep pleading be'edei gnevia. Cheskia me'edei haragin gneva l'chudei kaima. Two different things. Why? It's the beginning of the story, so that should deserve Malchus. So originally they could have said, "Oh, it's only to give Malchus." Only later, when it's clear that for Misa, do those are chayiv. Amar Abaye. So what does this mean? Three quick statements. They don't kill. Because they could have said, why do you only come to give Malchus? The latter in Shiragin. Kulu Dover Kavdila, Machlekes ben Sarah Meyer, Shnayim Omer Befanenu Ganav Shnayim Omer Befanenu Achal, Amar Avasi Edi Mechira Benefesh Hozmu, Ein Heragim Mitachshel. Since you could have said Avdi Macharti, so therefore you're not going to be direct love. Amar Rav Yosef Kaman Zah Shemeat Dravasi Krav Akiva. Damar Davar, he says, what Davar V'lo Chatzi Davar. If it's a bin the Rabbanan, Naragin. Rabbanan explains the Gemara. But the Loy also Edi Gneva. Yachi Maila Memra, what's the Chiddish? Loitzricha the Aval Gav, even though the Asil Besoiv Akati Maila Memra, Loitzricha, the Kamarmzi, Remuzi, Mal the Tema Remiza Bal Milsa, he was the beginning. Kamashlan Remiza Lav Klum. And we're going to pick it up from the Mishnah the next year, B'siyata Dishmai.